Is anyone else watching the Amy Bradley is Missing documentary on Netflix? I gotta go on a rant. I just watched the 3 episodes. I totally think she is still alive. So if you don't know the story, this girl is on a cruise with her family, goes out to the club with her brother, comes back to the room at like 4 in the morning. She's on the deck, and then no one ever sees her again. So, a lot of the cruise line kind of just thought she like jumped, but the boat was coming ashore. There's never been a body. No one heard a splash. No one heard anything. She wasn't suicidal. And over the years, it's come out multiple very credible eyewitnesses. I saw all the the people they interviewed. I thought they were all like 100% very credible. And then a picture of her on a prostitution website on a neighboring Caribbean island that the FBI says is her, is a dead ringer. But you have to understand, like, this is pre-cell phone and people using the internet. So, like, all their leads were, like, when they would go on Dr. Phil or these shows, like, no one was searching the internet. No one had social media. And, even the cruise ship, they didn't have the cards to verify, like, who comes on and off the boat. There was no cameras that see who comes on and off the boat. Like, this was back in the day. Like, it couldn't happen now. But I totally think she's out there. I believe the eyewitnesses, and it's just crazy because the FBI, it's not their jurisdiction. They literally have this IP address on Barbados that is checking the family's website on birthdays for hours at a time when they update, like, hey, this is what's going on. And I totally think she has Stockholm syndrome. She's too embarrassed and ashamed to go home because she's been like sex trafficked for all this time. And then the third thing is, one of the eyewitnesses also says is that she has kids with either captors or these Johns, and they're threatening her kids. But like watching it, I know the family was in shock, but like the cruise was still happening, and they're like, we flew home to be comforted by friends and family. And I'm like, no one's going to be looking for your daughter harder than you are. They should have split up. Someone should have stayed on the island, and then someone should have stayed on the cruise, because whoever saw her get murdered, someone could have hid the body on the boat. Anyone that was on it was still on the cruise, and you have limited time, and they just flew home in the middle of it. And not until they flew back to Curacao, the island, to the press conference, did they start getting leads. The taxi drivers, yeah, I saw your daughter get off the boat. She asked me where her payphone was. And subsequently all these other, a guy in the Navy came forward that she was at a brothel and said her name was Amy and needed help. And, then there was a guy that saw her on the beach and said it was 100% her. And he also ID'd the last guy seen with her before she went to her family, which is the bass player from the band at the bar. So it is crazy. And, these small countries, they don't, have a police force. The FBI couldn't do anything. Like, should have hired like a private investigator, but